All right, in 9.2, we're going to solve quadratics by factoring. So yesterday we solved it by graphing, looking at it visually and deciding where are the zeros. Remember, zeros are just x-intercepts. Today we're going to do this algebraically. So remember, this is called finding zeros, which is a clue. You're going to set things equal to 0 along the way. So the steps you want to do, I'm going to write here on the side, are this. If you follow these steps, you'll be good to go. The first thing you want to do each time is to factor. That may require factoring by grouping or GCF or both, all the above. Then once you have completely factored, we set each factor equal to 0. And then lastly, we're going to solve. And remember, quadratics have a power of 2. It's x squared, right? So we're going to solve for 2 solutions. We should have 2 solutions. Remember, there's something called the fundamental theorem of algebra. That power, the highest degree, tells us how many solutions we should have. And since we have a quadratic, it's power of 2, we should have 2 solutions. So let's look at number 1. All right, it is set equal to 0 already, so I want to think about factoring. So what do I need to do to factor? Well, first, always look for GCF. There is a GCF in this case, so I'm going to take out that GCF of 8x. When I do that, I have 2x minus 1 equals 0. Now, if you want, well, look at this first and decide, did I factor completely? And how do you know? Well, are all the x's to the power of 1? Since they are, I know I've factored completely. So then I can put that 8x in parentheses if I'd like. And this is considered a factor, and this is considered a factor. Now, to solve, set number 2 says set factor equal to 0. So we're going to set that factor equal to 0. So 8x equals 0. If I divide by 8, x is 0. So that means I have a solution, or a 0 of 0, 0. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the 2x minus 1. If I move that 1 over, I get 2x equals 1. Divide by 2, x equals 1/2. So I have a 0 of 1/2, 0. Remember, always write them as coordinate pairs. Always, always, always. Now look at number 2. I have 2x squared equals 2x plus 40. Well, it's not equal to 0, so I've got to set it equal to 0 somehow first. So I need to move all this stuff over here to the left. Why did I choose that? Because I want the lead exponent to be positive. Always keep that positive. You don't want to lead negative, okay? So I'm going to move these 2 terms over to the left. So I'm going to rewrite that. 2x squared, when I move that 2x over, it becomes negative 2x. Move the 40, it becomes negative 40, equals 0. Now I can go to the factoring step. Is there a GCF I can take out? There is, sure is. So take a 2 out of each term. I have x squared minus x minus 20 equals 0. Well, I still have x squared in there. That means I can continue factoring. Okay, so I do my multiply add chart. I need 2 numbers that multiply to negative 20 but add to negative 1. Well, hopefully negative 5 and 4 come to mind. That works out. And notice that the leading coefficient is 1. So I can just take it straight from my chart to the factors. I don't have to do the grouping stuff. So I get x minus 5, x plus 4 equals 0. And I can bring that 2 down. But here's the thing. When you have a factor, if you want to call it a factor, when you have something like this, there's no x. That means if there's no x, there's no solution here. No x, no solution. So I don't have to set that part equal to 0 because it won't work, because 2 does not equal 0. It just doesn't work. So now I come back and go to my real factors. So I'm going to say x minus 5 equals 0. That means that x is equal to 5. So one of my solutions is 5, 0. Then I do this one, x plus 4 equals 0. If I solve it, I get x equals negative 4. So my other solution to this equation is negative 4, 0. I have 2 solutions. That's what I wanted. Let's look at number 3. 3x squared plus x minus 2. It's already equal to 0, so I need to factor this. So I'm going to do multiply and add. If I multiply, it has to go to -6. When I add, it has to go to 1. Let's see. So it should be, what, a +3 and a -2? Those would add to 1. So I'm going to need to do some grouping here because my lead coefficient is not a 1. So I'm going to rewrite this. It's 3x squared. I'm going to break that 1x up into a +3x minus 2x minus 2 equals 0. Then I group. These two have in common. They have a 3x. What's left is x plus 1. Bring that sign straight down. Minus GCF out of those two would be a 2. That leaves me with x plus 1. All right, so x plus 1 is going to be one of my factors. And what's left is the 3x minus 2. So now I set those factors equal to 0. So 3x minus 0, minus 2 equals 0, sorry. Move the 2 over. I get 3x equals 2. X equals 2/3. So I have a solution of 2/3, 0. One solution. Over here, I set this one equal to 0, x plus 1. So that gives me a solution of x equals -1. So it's -1, 0. Don't forget, make them coordinate pairs every time. All right, on number 4, let's continue this with looking at factoring. We got to factor this. So ask yourself, is there a GCF? Hopefully you know that you recognize the 5 as a GCF. So if I factor that 5 out, I have x squared minus 125 divided by 5 is 25 equals 0. Well, I still have x squared, which means there's more factoring to do. Now I'm hoping that you recognize that x squared is a squared term and 25 is a perfect square. And there's a minus sign, which means it's a difference of squares. And if you'll recall, when you factor difference of squares, you take the square root of each term. Square root of x squared is x, square root of 25 is 5, and we do the plus and the minus of those values set equal to 0. Now, remember what I said before. If what you factored out, this 5 has no x attached, that means there's no solution with this factor. It is a GCF, but it doesn't contain an x, so there's no solution attached. So I take each of the factors I've found, x plus 5 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0, x is -5, x is +5. So my solutions are -5, 0, and 5, 0. All right? I want you to notice something really quick. Notice that the factor has a plus sign, but the solution was a 5. The factor had a negative sign, the solution was a +5. Notice the signs are switching when it goes from factor to 0, because that's going to be helpful in the next type of question I'm going to show you in a minute. But I want you to start to see this pattern, that the signs switch when you solve, right? All right, so just keep that in the back of your mind. Let's continue on to number 5. Now, hopefully, you're looking at this going, hold up, I need to move that 4x over here, and you do. So x squared, when I move it, it becomes plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. So I'm going to factor. Can I do GCF? No. Can I just do regular factoring? Let's see. I have to multiply to 4, and I have to add to 4. Okay, hopefully that jumps in your head, a 2 and 2. The lead coefficient is a 1 right here, so I can just jump right to my factor. So I have x plus 2 times x plus 2 equals 0. Well, if I solve that, x plus 2 equals 0, I have x equals -2. And it's going to be the same thing for this one, right? Same exact solution coming from here. So remember what we call that is a double. So we would write it as -2, 0, and we would write a double root like that, because remember, it has to have 2 solutions. All right, let's look at this next type of question. Write a quadratic function in standard form with these zeros. Now, remember what standard form means. It means y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So everything's multiplied out. Now, it's giving me the zeros. It's giving me the solutions, and I've got to write the factor attached. So before we jump ahead, look at what we just did. When we got a solution of negative 2, it came from a factor of x plus 2. Again, solution negative 5, it came from a factor of plus 5. So the signs are just switching. What you're going to notice happens is this. The factor that gives me a positive 2 looks like this. It would be x minus 2. The factor that gives me a negative 1 is, change the sign, x plus 1. And hopefully you can visualize, if I just set this guy equal to 0 and solve it for x, I'm going to get x plus 2, and that's what I had. Set this equal to 0, I get x equals negative 1, and that's what I was given. So now I just need to FOIL this, and I'm good to go. So if I FOIL, I have x squared. X times 1 is x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2, so that gives me a negative x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. So there's my equation in standard form. Look at number 2, 3 and negative 3. What about, it came from a factor, so the 3 came from a factor of x minus 3. Negative 3 came from x plus 3. So now I FOIL it, x squared plus 3x minus 3x, that's going to give me 0. Negative 3 times positive 3 gives me minus 9. All right, let's look at number 3, 4 and 0. Okay, so a factor that gives me 4 would be x minus 4, right? Now what kind of thing gives me a 0? Well, anytime you have a 0, that means it had a GCF of x involved. So you just slap a 0 in the front. That's how you get that 0. And now to solve it, I'm just going to distribute that x. So I have x squared minus 4x. And there it is. There's my equation in standard form. Number 4, a double root. All right, what does a double root mean? It means I have the same factor twice. So x minus 3 times x minus 3. When I FOIL this, I'm going to have x squared, negative 3x gives me negative 6x, and then a positive 9 over here. There it is. So this is how you're going to find your roots with algebraically. Find your roots with factoring. Hope this makes sense, and we'll see you in class.